all the ACC exams across the world now start with a few generic tips. At times, the mistake we end up making is a lot of you have asked us for exam tips that might help you clear your ACC exams or help you look at them in a better way or consider things that you might have not considered before. In today's video, we'll be covering generic and specific exam tips for your ACC exams and hoping that this helps you applying these tips in your next paper and getting us a positive result. Here at Zell Education and on this channel, we create a lot of such videos that might be beneficial for you to worth consider subscribing if you're pursuing ACCA, CFA, CPA, CMA and any such qualification. If you do wish to check specific exam tips, then we have a whole video series on 3 tips in 3 minutes for every single ACCA paper, which is available on our platform. You can subscribe, check our platform out and watch more specific tips for the paper you're appearing for. But right now, let's jump into today's video and start with a few generic tips that you must keep in mind. The very first tip for you is that ACCA exams do not have negative marking. A lot of candidates that we know do not attempt MCQ section. They leave certain questions because they are not sure of it. But one thing, and it's a very obvious tip, is that the process of elimination works. If you know that an option or two is definitely wrong, and if you know that, okay, there is no negative marking, the hint is clearly there for you to just take a guess, or as we call it, a guesstimate, and just take your shot at it. The odds are that if you take a few guesstimates and a few are right, then that might just make the difference between you getting stuck at a 45 to 49 to just turning into a 51 to 55, a respectable passing score. Second tip for y'all is, all the ACC exams across the world now are computer based. Yes, there might be some locations which are still paper based, but assuming you're a general candidate, you need to align yourself with this. We also see a lot of candidates still preparing for their exams on a paper and pen format. This is counterproductive. If you're looking to clear a computer based exam, you should be preparing on the computer itself, be it with the ACCA platform that is provided to you free of cost, or through your trainer who might be providing you digital practice, or the age-old hustle way of just opening an MS Word and MS Excel and preparing. But as long as you learn how to solve questions on these platforms, you are much more likely to be comfortable in the ACC exam, and this will allow you to finish your papers on time. Remember, lost marks because of time is just guaranteeing your failure. And this is something you can definitely avoid with practice. Practice brings me to my third tip, and again, a very obvious tip. You need to ensure you complete your exam kit. ACC exams are practical in nature, they are case study oriented. And the more case studies that you practice, the more you expose yourself to that critical thinking ability, the more likely you are to take that challenging question in the exam and not be put off by it. Rather, you should feel like, oh, I have prepared enough, I've practiced similar questions, this is not a big challenge and I will be able to overcome it. In the exam, if you are able to apply that mindset, which will only come if you are able to practice the complete exam kit, then you will increase your odds on completing the exam. Next, let's look at the study depth of all 3 levels. Your skill level and your professional level introduce subjective testing. Your skill level is about 40 marks provided for subjectives, and your professional level is completely subjective, meaning there are no MCQs. Now, the ACC examiners are not looking for a very polished or a very formal answer. They are rather looking for an opinionated answer, or answer where you bring out your own points supporting or against the case in hand. Next, let's look at tips specific to the knowledge level, skill level, and professional level. Coming to the knowledge level, it's really simple. The exams are MCQ based. At times, the mistake we end up making is we just select an MCQ, we check it again on the spot, and then we don't ever visit it throughout the duration of our exam. This means that if we might have made a mistake, we are just making the same mistake again because we are checking it on the spot. Next, let's talk about the practical side. In your skill level and professional level, you are introduced to subjective assessments, which means you get marks but not with MCQs. For these subjective elements, you need to remember one thing, that the model answer provided is not the only right answer. Ensure that you have a faculty or someone who can check your answers and validate them even if they are significantly different from the model answers provided. That brings me to my fifth tip, and a very obvious tip once again: give mock exams. 2 marks, 3 marks, 5 marks, as many marks as you can give, and have a faculty or a senior check them for you. It will be the most direct way of ensuring you pass these exams. A mock not only checks your subject matter understanding, it allows you to see whether you can complete the exam in time. It allows you to understand how much time you might have left to revisit your past questions, and gives you a general sense of your preparedness. Give as many mock exams as possible so that you know where you stand and what needs to be tweaked before you give your live exam. Having said that, guys, please remember that level to level and paper to paper, the tips might differ. For that, I highly urge you, if you've reached the end of this video, to continue watching for your preparation and watch our dedicated videos on the subject that you might be preparing for. They'll be available on our channel's dedicated playlists, and you can find them and continue your learning. If you like this video, be sure to let us know so that we know we have to keep creating such content for you guys. Leave a like, leave a comment, and stay subscribed. Thank you.